Hey everyone, I'm Jgsf1987, and I'm a writer and blogger. To see my latest posts, you can go to my blog at jgsf1987.com. I also can help support this channel on Patreon at patreon.com/jgsf1987. Chip in $5, you become a friend. Because any help you can give to this channel would go a long way, because then I can continue to make videos for you guys. Alright, well, I know in a few of my videos, my last videos, I had a tendency to ramble a little bit. Yeah, I should probably apologize for that. I tend to do that from time to time. Anyhow, so here's something that I gotta tell you guys though. Well, actually, it's kind of a funny story if you guys want to get a really good laugh about yours truly being so inept in one form or another. Anyway, so last week well, for those who don't know me, I grew up in the Jewish faith, and so, like clockwork, I do one thing. I go to pray at services at my synagogue twice a year, and that's each time on Shabbat for when my grandparents had passed away. The dates for which they passed are on my Instagram feed. You can look for it right up in the description. Yeah, so anyway, I know you're probably thinking, okay, so what's so funny about the thing with your grandparents? Okay, here's the story. Last week, I'm all clamored thinking to myself, crap, I gotta go to services. Crap, I gotta go to services. Crap, I gotta go to services. Here's the thing. Yours truly had a little bit of a brain fart. The Jewish calendar ain't a solar one, it's a lunar calendar. Meaning that the actual Shabbat for when I'm supposed to go to pray for my grandma is actually tomorrow, not last week. Like I said, a little bit of a brain fart. Well, can't guarantee I won't do that again in October for my grandpa. Anyhow, but and that's not just the only story though. There's a second story that actually might be really, really interesting for you guys to hear. When I was at those services, I heard something about mental health issues. You know, people for dealing with mental health or whatever. Sounds so for everybody that's one thing. Well, here's the thing. On the 31st, there is going to be a talk about mental health at my synagogue, and I am going to be a speaker in it, sharing my own personal experiences with regards to mental health, especially in the area of suicide prevention. Yeah, suicide prevention is a massive cause in my life for two reasons. I have not said this in any of my videos, or basically on my blog for that matter. Or I think you might have known from actually looking at my blog or my Facebook or Twitter. My Facebook, my page, the page that I keep on Facebook, it's timeline, and also on my Twitter feed and Instagram too, that I've that I have a phone number for, like the Suicide Prevention Hotlines and such, not just for the local one, but also nationally. Here's the thing. As you probably managed to infer from that, I suffer from suicide, that I also deal with suicidal depression. I'm not going to lie, I do. Look, don't worry. I have a pretty good team in place, and I have enough safeguards in place for that basically not to happen. And I'll be sharing that experience, especially at that place. The other reason, though, is that I had a cousin, actually, before I go into the whole thing with about what I'm going to be doing at the synagogue. I know, sorry, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. The second thing is also, I had a cousin who took his own life about 5 weeks before my grandpa had a really nasty fall. That's the other reason why. I've also had another friend who took his own life as well. So, so I think that for me to be discussing my experience, especially there, would be a good thing. I'm thinking about the reason why I'm thinking of doing that is that if there's anybody else within the congregation, basically that is dealing with mental health issues or is dealing with suicidal, ideations. If I could share my experience, hopefully, I might be able to convince them to seek the same help that I sought. And I'll confess, one of the things that I've seen myself doing, at least in some kind of an ideation, that got me into a hospital for 4 hours, but that's a whole different story. The point that I'm making, though, is that, at least on my end, that ideation actually spurred me to think about to make a vow to myself. Now, I have plenty of friends who are quote, quote, pro Second Amendment and such. I have no problem with them being like that. So one of them, who's currently living who's studying abroad at the moment, he asked me, well, why aren't you going to go around exercising your Second Amendment rights? I'm like, yeah, dude, I know I have those rights, but one minor caveat. Exercising those rights on my end is a death sentence. That's right, I had an ideation that I shot myself with a gun. That's why I made a personal vow never to purchase a firearm. For that reason alone. It's one less means of, basically, as I like to put it from time to time, doing the deed. So, but yeah, that's the thing. I have like I said, I have a lot of safety checks put in place, and I have a really good team who can respond quickly to whenever I'm having these kinds of issues. Or for whenever that does flare up, I have a team in place that can basically to keep that from happening. Anyway, so figured you might want to hear something about that. I'll make another video after I'm done doing that talk. So, and by the way, I'll also, for anybody else also who's watching this video and you're dealing with suicidal depression, you can leave me a comment. Leave me a comment below if you wish to share your story. Here's the thing also. I am going to leave the phone number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline in the description of the video. And all I can say is basically, if you're feeling that way, either get yourself looked at or basically seek help. Anyway, I'm Jgsf1987 and I am out of here. Also, I want to say thanks for watching, and if you like what you see on here, subscribe and click that notification bell. Anyway, I'm Jgsf1987 and I am out of here.